subscribe, and comment what you love and what you don't. Come hang with the boys in the woods.
Always gets you.
Every time. Welcome, everybody. Welcome all of our new listeners, old listeners, future listeners. What is that? One of those good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good nights.
Yeah.
How are we today?
Awesome. Just lots of crazy shit to go through today. Today's going to be a packed episode. Really pack it in. Welcome to the 43 people that are in Belgium that listen to our podcast, by the way, too.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Oh man, I gotta look a couple things up real quick. Why don't we start with the Phoenix Suns while I look up something specific in Belgium.
All right, yeah, Phoenix, Isaiah Thomas. Who's it? How do you say that guy's name? Is it I'm crazy? Ishba, the guy that played for Michigan State. He is the owner of the Phoenix Suns.
Yes.
Ishba or whatever. Anyway, the dude got in the stock market, made a shitload of money, bought a business, freaking became a multi-billionaire. Then he decided, you know what, I'm going to freaking give back to the NBA by buying a team, and then he bought the Suns.
What a fantastic story so far.
Yes.
Dutch, French, and German. I probably effed that up.
I don't know how to say any of those
respectively, words. In both Flemish and Walloon, hello can be said as allo.
Dude, we're going to get...
We'll go from there.
And if you're from Belgium and you can understand any English, please comment and tell us how terrible that was, because that'd be fantastic.
That would be so good. And we'll go from there. We'll give a Belgium word of the day for a little bit and see what happens next. So the most interesting thing here, Chris Paul to the Wizards,
Bradley Beal,
yep. Devin Booker, Kevin Durant. And then, so the big thing with this was Andre Aton was already bumming because he wasn't getting enough touches.
Yeah, he's basically gone. I mean,
well, now the scuttlebutt is yes, he's being shopped now too.
Right.
And Chris Paul is being shopped hard. Probably going to end up back with the Clippers, although quietly, I don't know if Chris Paul's the right move for Pelinka, but Chris Paul off the bench for the Lakers might be the best case scenario for Chris Paul. I don't think Chris Paul wins a ring as a starter. I think if he gets it, it'll be off of the bench.
Right. Did you see LeBron and Draymond Green? Like, are they gonna pull that trigger? Because LeBron is a ring chaser. So, I mean, it's possible.
Would the Lakers be better without LeBron James?
You know, they got a lot of young guys.
The Lakers are actively pursuing Draymond Green, but I meant the Warriors want to keep Draymond Green, and the Lakers aren't actively pursuing. I don't know where that came from. That might be a random flapjack take. Well,
no, that's who he actually was hanging out with. It wasn't the Cousins.
Right. Draymond Green. With the Warriors not having that small forward position, and LeBron James always talking about wanting to play with Steph Curry, and not wanting to play with Steph Curry, but if there was somebody who's left out here, who do you want to play with? Steph Curry keeps coming up.
Right. Yeah.
I can see the Lakers end up in this crazy world, ending up with Draymond Green while LeBron James bounces off to Golden State because it's still in California where he wants to be for his kid. And his kid's shooting to the NBA here basically sooner rather than later. What, next year's draft?
So, yeah, next year's. He's going to be a one and done for sure at USC.
Definitely.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. But my biggest gripe here is now Phoenix is, I think, a top 3 now for the betting favorites in Vegas. And I got to ask Vegas, I know you know way more than I do. I know you do. But where the hell is the Phoenix Suns bench?
Well, the whole reason they couldn't go anywhere in the playoffs is because they didn't have a bench. And they're only getting older.
They've got no depth. And now they have less depth. Than they did before.
And you know as well as I do, Dallas is going to try to make a run. Sacramento made the playoffs, and they're a young team, and they're a team that definitely for sure is going to be on the rise. They're only going to get better.
Mark Cuban tasted a championship with Dirk Nowitzki. There's no way he let San Antonio get back before he gets back there one more time. So, that's the NBA.
Yeah.
The NBA's over. Baseball's been rocking really well. I think the Tigers are 3-11 in June. 2-11.
Oh, come on! I thought we weren't going to talk about them until after the All-Star break.
Everybody's all right, listen. Yeah. I was alive when this dark magic was created. I understand. The Pistons haven't won a playoff game in 15 years. the Red Wings ended up like some kind of albino Albert Einstein running through the NHL. Stevie Yzerman's had 3 years. I'm going to say in him I trust for one more year. The Lions are who the Lions are. Welcome to Detroit. What did you expect?
Right. Do you want to hear a crazy stat that I heard today?
What's that?
Outside of the 2005 championship for the Chicago White Sox, in 67 years, they haven't won a playoff series.
Man.
And people are like, they have a shitty baseball team then. That's a shitty franchise. That's crazy to think that outside of the 2005, and that was what Mark Burley and all those guys.
Yeah.
You know, they had a hell of a team though. They had 1 year. 1 year they had a hell of a team.
Yeah, I mean, not a lot of people talk about the White Sox.
What about
I guess enough
White
people
Sox.
talk about it. They're a professional baseball team, but like, where do you go in Chicago to be a White Sox guy?
I guess if you grow up on the South Side, you say fuck it, you can just become a White Sox fan. Or if you're just like the uppities, they're usually were the Cubs fans, like the people that couldn't get down on the North Side or whatever. Here's a funny thing that I actually looked at too the other day. What about the Oakland A's freaking selling out the other day and giving the big middle finger to Major League Baseball for allowing them to move to Vegas? They sold out the other day, like 2 days in a row.
Yeah.
And they beat Tampa or something?
Oh my God, that's so fun. They're on a 7-game win streak, 8-game win streak.
Yeah.
That's fantastic too. And I don't know, a little too late. Why did he move in the first place?
Yeah. Well,
he moved in the first place because the fans got pissed off because the dude wasn't spending any money on the team. So they're like, well, we're not going to give you any money.
Right.
Well, then he's like, all right, well, I'm going to leave. I mean, it sucks. It sucks. But arguably, it's the owner's world. We're just living in it. He's getting what he wants. But Oakland's a baseball team. And what the fans are doing right now, I think specifically, is being a massive billboard to the MLB to say, bring us a fucking team ASAP. Look at the money you're going to lose out on. Look at the money you're allowing to leave. And I think it's wonderful. Well done.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Baseball is just one of those things where it's really hard to get a grasp on it. 'Cause after talking to Trevor, it's like, what the fuck? Like, baseball is so fucking weird because you have different teams coming in for like a series every week and their fans will follow them during the week. Go to any baseball game. I don't know if that's like that for any other sport. Like, the people live in that town, but baseball is a weird group of people. They'll travel with their team.
Well, so I can tell you, I've been as far away from one spot on planet Earth as you can go without coming back. That's also how I found out the world wasn't flat, by the way. It's crazy.
Flat earthers. No flat earthers.
It's crazy how that worked. But it was like, I don't know, it was like 3,572 miles. And then it was like,
I'm back where I was.
I don't know. But anywho, there is specific fan bases I ran into in every fucking corner of my travels. That was Green Bay Packers, Steelers, Ohio State, Michigan, and off the top of my head, without digging too deep into memory, that's it. Yeah. That's it. Now, worldly travels, let me rephrase this into my United States corner travel, because when you went around the world, it was super soccer and cricket. Dude, the fucking top cricket player in the world. Oh my God, dude, I got to look this up real quick. Go ahead, what you were going to say.
Well, it's it's either American football or English soccer, or world soccer. They travel great anyway, but they usually don't travel that far. What's a soccer match, like 4 or 5 hours at most, I'm talking about people like flying from like Pittsburgh to go to the game in frickin' London. Like, you know what I mean? Like, American sports are crazy.
But soccer and cricket is different, dude. And I'm just starting to look into this because we didn't learn about it here in America. It's kind of effed up. But I mean, check. I got to click through all these ads real quick. Maybe I should get that McAfee. But anyways, all right. So the number 10. So there's a top 10 list of cricket followers, right?
Yeah.
How many Instagram followers do you think the number 10 player has?
Well, I mean, cricket's popular in India and there's a shitload of people over there. So I'm going to assume he's got a shitload of followers. And I'm going to say it's probably in the tens of millions.
7.9 million. I'm losing my whole life here. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, so 9.2 million for number 9. So I'm going to scroll all the way to number 1 here real quick.
29.8 million.
That's what you're guessing?
29.
You would have been close if we were talking about the number 2 player in the world.
Oh.
Okay, so the page isn't responding. Trust it, we're just going to get off it. So we're going to stick with the number 2 player. And if you want to know the number 1 player, you're going to have to go find it out yourself, because that's something I love.
Google is your friend, as Charles would say.
2 million. 30.2 million Instagram followers do fucking cricket, man.
3.2. So you're telling me we need to get like
2 million.
So we need to get cricket players on the podcast, is what you're saying.
I would love to, dude. Okay,
I know nothing about the sport. I know nothing about it.
Cricket.
Nothing. Come teach us.
About what's that, rugby? I would love to get.
Rugby?
I would love to get in touch with some rugby minds. I want to know I want to know that atmosphere. I have no idea. Tennis, fucking
lacrosse, field hockey. I don't know shit about none of this shit.
That's something that I would love to do, man. Like ESPN, the Ocho. These sports are crazy, and the people that play them are wild, dude. And they're fucking characters, man. We got to get a few of them on the show.
I just reached out to someone who would probably really pique your interest. I reached out to a reptile expert that works at a huge zoo. Exactly a huge zoo in New Zealand. So, and I figured I figured that would be right up your alley. And they said they said if they can find the time and come on, dude, they're gonna bring the animals on. It'll have to be a video episode. Because people have to see the animals. They've got to see them. It'll be a Spotify exclusive. We'll have to upload it, and it'll be badass.
We could go from them to the Irwin family. We just gotta push this New Zealand person, and then we'll get the Irwin family out. Crockett, we'll get the Crockett guys.
It's just one step at a time. We keep walking up the fucking ladder. Boop, 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 boop. We're gonna make our way to the top.
We've had some great guests on in the last few episodes.
We have some fantastic guests
between Mike and
shout out
Brooks and shout out to our last few guests.
Michael McChesney, Angela. Yes.
Yeah, there's been some really nice guests. All right, so now shitty old people.
Yeah, I have a story.
I heard.
I
heard. Yeah, you were saying something off camera.
Yeah, so this has happened a few times in the last few weeks. We always stop at Quick Trip either to get gas for work and work vehicles, whatever. So me and a couple guys walked in there, went in the store. I bought a breakfast sandwich, like a Monster Energy drink. Yes, Quick Trip, pick us up.
Number one gas station in America.
Yes,
shout out Quick Trip.
Number one gas station in America. And I walked around
the based Wisconsin.
Yes, LaCrosse, Wisconsin, somewhere over there. Anyway, this guy just literally cut me off. And if you know anything about Quick Trip gas stations, there's a line that forms, and if anybody from Wisconsin knows, you're supposed to follow the fucking floor and the lines, and you stay in that line. You don't cut in front of people. You don't walk in front of people to the register. It's the way it goes. Well, this old guy did not look like he was from out of state. He could have been a fib. We'll give him a little bit of credit. But anyway, this has been happening far too frequently lately. So that stepped out in front over by where like the soup and stuff is off to the side where people can make their condiments for their sandwiches and stuff. He just walks alongside of me as I'm standing in line and then goes in front of me, turns around, looks at me and goes, I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Are you all right? Something, do you hopefully, I don't know, maybe he had a seizure while he was standing still. I don't know. Jesus. It's something, but this is just something that has occurred to me as a mental note. Since when people get older, they get a free pass? Why? Why do old people get a free pass on everything, no matter what they do? They cut in front of you, say they pull out in front of you, a parking lot, and they cut you off. Or they go through a red light and they almost hit you. And they're just like, I'm old, I suck at driving, whatever. Maybe that person is a shitty fucking person and they deserve to get hit, or they deserve to frickin' be called an asshole. I'm just saying, you shouldn't get a free pass just because you're old. And I don't know about you. That's just the way I feel about it.
So I've got to...
It's fucking true. Blows my fucking mind.
I know, it's so true. I got a couple thought processes on this. One of these thought processes,
I can't wait to hear them.
One of these is from my 20s, right?
Yeah.
And 20-year-old me was just angry. And eventually later in my, oh man, what if that was like your grandma or grandpa? You got to give them a break, But my 20-year-old me ran into it so much that like I created this fantastic later in life thought of me being the old guy with pink flamingos in my fucking yard, yelling at people to get off my lawn. Kids walking to school going, oh no, that's old man Sayers. Don't go on that side of the fucking block. And like it was kind of funny. But now hearing you say what you say, I'm like, was that just a subconscious way for me to be okay with just, hey, they're old? And yeah, you kind of got a point. Do you feel bad because of how we treat old people today? Or are we treating old people today this way because of how old people yesterday treated fucking us? And we're just sick of it.
Well, right. And I'm not advocating to be an asshole to old people or to say they're fucking all assholes. I'm just saying, as many people as what is there, like 40% of the population is like between 50 and like 75 or some shit. Like they're it's a large part of the population. And
keep talking. I'm gonna look it up.
Yeah, you look it up. I could be wrong. This could be one that Charles corrects me on.
No, I don't want to correct you. I want to know.
I'll look it up. But you think about this, you'd be like, there's got to be a lot of assholes in there because I know my generation's got a lot of assholes. Just thinking the old people went through a lot of shit. Like they went through wars, they went through a draft, they went through someone went through prohibition, like.
Shit, man, greatest population of our time. Absolutely. We're not talking about, we're not trying to fuck old people here.
Absolutely. No, not at all. I'm just saying, why do they get a free pass?
Why do they get a free pass?
All the time. Like everybody gets a free pass that's old. Like you're old. All right. Fucker hits a kitten, doesn't stop. Hits a dog, doesn't stop. He's just old.
Is it just one of those things where we're okay with because eventually we get there and we're like, hey, is it like high school? Do we ever fucking leave high school? Because like seniors act like the way the seniors do because of how they got fucking treated as freshmen.
A guy said
then once the freshmen become fucking seniors, they treat the new freshmen like they were treated.
Exactly.
Are we doing the same fucking thing in life right now, man?
Yeah. And a guy, I listened to a guy's podcast and he said this too. This really blew my mind because you said that about growing up. You said, do we ever really grow up? He goes, do we ever grow up? He goes, all we know is who we are now. We like mentally we grow up and mature, but do we ever really grow up? I still have the same thoughts as I do when I was a teenager,
Right. Absolutely.
I still want to be rich and famous.
To better those thoughts and me too.
Well,
me
be
too.
productive, be productive
really want
in
an
society.
Underground pool. I just want an underground pool.
Don't worry, we're gonna get that infinity pool for you someday.
Yeah.
We just keep blowing up.
I kind of want geothermal though, dude.
All right,
that's a new dream.
You can go as big as you want.
No, I want to heat and cool my house with geothermal.
Yeah, once Spotify signs us on for that like $30 million contract, then you can buy whatever you want.
That's really going to screw up my retirement. Yeah, right.
We'll be doing a lot of cool stuff.
Damn right. We got to get on that ghost tour also. I was talking
yes,
to Rachel.
Yes. Find out a time. I was thinking maybe in July or August.
Yeah,
August works. All right, let's do it end of August.
So now moving forward before we start talking about this, I would also like everyone to know, all of our listeners and any deity that anyone prays to, please, God, let these people be found. The submarine issue that's at large right now. We just recently watched a video in the last few hours. They've got about 39 hours of oxygen left. Pray for greatness here. But, realistically, oh my goodness. Like,
do you want to watch the video?
Yeah, let's throw it up there real quick. All right,
let's throw it up.
Because I mean, in a black and white thought process on this, it's an electronic, it's a sub. It's got power. What that power has got a GPS. If the GPS ain't working, what does that mean? This ain't Gilligan's Island. Are we looking at an insurance situation here? Are these families being drug on for insurance purposes? I mean, this is crazy. Because then I started searching the ocean, and I can't wait to get to Phantom Islands.
Right.
It was really cool. Like, there's so many random thoughts. And let's pop this up. Many prayers, many thoughts.
This is
shout out to the Coast Guard for doing their job.
Yep, here we go.
Approximately 900 miles east of Cape Cod and 400 miles south of St. John's, Newfoundland. Approximately 1 hour and 45 minutes into the scheduled dive, the Polar Prince lost all communication with the Titan. Polar Prince conducted an initial search and then requested Coast Guard assistance. The U.S. Coast Guard in Boston assumed the responsibility of search and rescue mission coordinator and immediately launched search assets. Since Sunday, the Coast Guard has coordinated search efforts with the U.S. and Canadian Coast Guard, Air National Guard aircraft, and the Polar Prince, which has searched a combined 7,600 square miles, an area larger than the state of Connecticut. These search efforts have focused on both surface.
Cut it out from there. They're private from here. I mean, fantastic fucking work on those search and rescue people. I know that. I mean, it's not going to be said if they're not found. I mean, our search and rescue people here in the United States of America are fucking top notch people. I went to school with a Navy search and rescue dude, we'll keep his name out of things for now. I'm not sure what he does anymore, and I don't want to be.
I know one as well, and his last name starts with an H, and
he's living in. Okay, cool.
Steven?
Yeah,
Steven.
Yeah, same guy, Steven. Yeah, Steven.
Yes. Steven. Yeah, shout out to Steven for being a naval rescue diver.
Naval rescue diver. What a fucking job that must have been.
Yes.
But anyways, continuing on with this, larger than the fucking state of Connecticut, they've searched since Sunday.
Right. Yeah. It's
that's fucking like 50 some hours. That's so nuts.
And it's not something that they can get help from the public with. This is something that they have to use military sonar, and they have to go down there and I'm sure there's dive teams going, not dive. Well, there's probably other sub teams going down. Yeah.
There's satellites being repositioned. Everything's being done. Everything possible is being done. My absolute worst thought with all of this is probably one anybody thinking too much about it might have also.
Right.
I'm thinking it's a human air maintenance check gone awry. Those depths down there are so bad, and if one crack becomes a pop and then everything else becomes a sizzle. That ain't no good.
We're praying that they're found, and if they are found, they'll have one fantastic story to tell, and hopefully they'll make a movie about it.
Lots of books and lots of movie rights. This is what we're hoping for. Lots of books and lots of movie rights.
A good story. Absolutely. A good heartfelt recovery story.
So then it got me searching. Let's pick some crazy things up.
So then your brain just went, what else can I find on them?
What else is in this ocean? So obviously our oceans are like 80% unmapped.
Yeah.
So then I kept wording the search wrong, and I'm like, no, I want to know about these uncharted islands. Uncharted islands, right? Yeah. There's got to be fucking thousands. Zero.
Well, all the ones that China doesn't tell us about.
Well, I mean, and for the further description into it is that with satellite technology and the surveying of multiple trade routes and yada yada yada, space missions, blah 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 blah, it is determined that we know of all masses that are like 4 feet wide. Yeah. 4 feet by 4 feet, right? If it's 4 feet by 4 feet sticking out the damn ocean, we know about it. So I'm like, oh, that's cool. Kind of not, but that's cool. And then all of a sudden they're like, except for Phantom Islands.
And that's You're like, what the fuck's a Phantom Island?
Like, what the fuck's a Phantom Island, man?
Some vague ass freaking description.
So immediately before I get into this, right, I'm thinking of that like early 90s Phantom movie where the fucking dude in the purple suits rolling around.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, all right, this is going to be some sweet shit, man. And come to find out, a Phantom Island is a purported island which was included on maps for a period of time, but was later found not to exist. They usually originate from the reports of early sailors exploring new regions and are commonly the result of navigational errors, mistaken observations, unverified misinformation, or deliberate fabrications. Some have remained on maps for centuries before being undiscovered. Unlike lost islands, which are claimed or known to have once existed, but to have been swallowed by the sea or otherwise destroyed, a phantom island is one that is claimed to exist. I'm not saying that word ever, but later found out not to have existed in the first place. Didn't need to say the word. The whole thing sounded great without. So here's my biggest gripe with this. How the fuck do you go, hey, there's an island over there?
No, there's not.
And then later on, nah, there's not. Oh, there must never have been an island there. You were mistaken, dead guy.
Right? Fucking weird.
Is there any other way to explain that?
So they just chalk it up to like somebody miscalculated the coordinates or what? They just said, yeah, there's not really an island there. There was an island there, but no, there's not really an island there.
There's not.
We went back and rechecked. There's no island.
So how many of these phantom islands was there once? Not had, have been, could have, would have, should have, I shall not, would have?
It makes you think of like a map maker, like back in the day, like Galileo or something, was just taking an ink dropper and letting it drop all over the fucking map and saying, boop, 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 boop. I guess there's islands over here.
It's like the navigator was way wrong until a few months ago, and then he was right. The navigator was doing things pre 5000 BC that we couldn't do until, what was it, 1852. Let me look this up real quick because it's fantastic. The best way to find out how was, when was the most accurate watch made?
And so what, that most of it was all star charts and maps and stuff they were using, wasn't it?
Oh, Jesus Christ. The world's most accurate watch wasn't made until 2019. Let me go back to
the atomic watch. First atomic watch. I think that's what you need to Google there.
England. Man. So it was a contest across the sea. Accurately. I think it was like 1852, some shit like that. Anyways, so we could not accurately go from Europe to New York without being 600 miles left or right till like 1852. And the guy made this watch. Well, this dude had charted all of planet Earth by, pre 5000 BC. Most of the map makers actually in like the 1500s still have Antarctica as a paradise-like island. There's actually no ice caps on that bitch.
Yeah.
Until well after 1600.
I was going to ask Clint about that. How do they go about explaining those maps that predate? Like, because we haven't been down there. Like, these are from actual people that went down there and charted all this stuff. And they said there was like tons of landmass with no ice, but they're telling us that there's ice.
Yeah, from actually growing up, I remember the fucking science and history books telling us there was ice there for millions of years. And now it's, so the reason for that, right? And this is the honest to God truth. The scientific community states that everything pre-1800 is like Neanderthal, right?
Yeah.
So that means they look at everyone the exact same way. From the cavemen to the Egyptians, they're the exact same fucking person to scientists. So their basic explanation with it is, I swear to God, we can't do it today. So there's no way they did it yesterday.
Calling them liars, fucking liars.
And one of the coolest ways for me to explain this to people, right? In America, you're very familiar with World War II.
Right.
You're very familiar with the Oppenheimer project. Not letters on the fucking paper familiar, but most of the time you know what Einstein did. Yeah. In fact, unless you're a science follower, most people can only tell you, if anything at all at this point about Einstein, is that he worked on the bomb. Well, my question for most people is, you can look into it. He does a little bit. What did he do after the bomb? Where did he go? Because you hear what happened after he died.
Yeah.
Well, so this guy from New York sends him a map. He sends him a map from the 1500. It's from the Navigator. He's like, Mr. Einstein, you got to check this shit out. You got to look into it, please. And he looks into it and he goes, this is real.
Yeah.
And the science community is like, whoa, listen, you got to stop saying that. And he's like, I will not. And shun. This has been very serious. And only in the last couple of months, if you head off into the World Wide Web and enter into your search bar something way cooler than dude farts on a plane, you will find.
Make sure you pass the second page.
You will find that there is a lot of information. And in the last couple of months, the scientific community has come out and acknowledged a lost civilization.
Right.
Between James Webb and us actually digging deeper, because right now our archaeologists, this is such a cool age, and in the next 100 years is going to be even cooler. It's one of the only reasons I would put my mind in a robot.
That just blows my mind that they didn't know that was there. They just didn't fucking know it was there.
They didn't know. And so they're digging so far down now.
Yeah.
That we're hitting that 11,800 year mark in these dig sites.
Yeah.
We're about to hit, I think in the next 100 years, that block of fucking ground that civilization was once before it crashed. And we're the fourth loop of generation.
Right. The 12,000 years.
Yeah, we're about to hit that block of archaeology, and that is so cool because some of the things they're finding right now is built before 5,000 BC, which people are just like, and I don't know how all these fucking smart people can sit here and go, oh my God, wow, oh my God, but they are. It's like, this is fucking real, man. You didn't need a book to tell you that. You can't be that stupid.
Be like, you probably can go see it yourself if you really want to. You can get on one of these freaking little safaris or little excursions if you pay enough money.
Rachel, the love of my life, star of my universe, wants to go prospecting in Colorado, I think it is. She wants to hit up the mountains there and go dig up some crystals or something.
Some
I got my little league no-hitter baseball. That's the only thing. This is the rock I got.
This is, I don't know. I thought there was gold in it, but apparently it's pyrite. but it's,
on No Man's Sky, we use that to fuel the rockets to.
So pyrite is actually spiritual. So you're supposed to keep it for good luck. You're supposed to put it in your money spot. So my money spot is right here by the podcast. It goes on top of the podcast equipment. So brings us good.
I've got a money dollar in my pocket. Yeah.
Brings us some good vibes and some good juju.
Yeah.
It worked today. So I
keep this $1 in my pocket. It's the good fortune dollar. That dollar will always bring more money as long as you never spend it. It will always bring more money. And the cool thing about the good fortune dollar is as long as you don't spend it, you're never broke.
Right.
Good fortune dollar.
Good fortune dollar. dollar bills, y'all.
Man, we should put that on a t-shirt. The good fortune dollar.
Good fortune. And can we put dollar bills, y'all?
Well, which reminds me, a couple of quick shout outs here. So the winner Forum. The 300th member will be announced here shortly. I have everyone given a select number. We're going to throw it into a random number generator, and the hats should be here pretty quickly as well.
Yep, the hats, we are at 446 out of 1,500. So we got about 5 days left on the hats. So like I said, we'll probably get them around 4th of July or, around that week. First week of July, we'll get them. And then you and I will meet up and we'll do the old swap or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Can't wait.
And then I can give you Brent's coffee cup.
Yeah,
and I still got the snacks and the cookies for you too. If you like coffee.
We were busy. And I don't mean we're super busy, but between life, the podcast has blown up. We were just talking, but we've got 200 some downloads this week already.
Yeah. Today alone, 120.
Today alone, 120. Yeah, I guess today is Tuesday. We're at 200 already today. That's so cool. 168
for the week. So yeah, people are listening, and if you guys are listening and you're listening on Spotify, which seems to be our number one app, go ahead and follow and like, comment, just give us a little 5-star. We'll take a 1-star rating. Just rate us because we want to know how many people out there are actually listening. It helps us,
We'll take the rating
and absolutely make a type of suggestion, a comment.
Bonjour, au revoir.
Bonjour, au revoir.
Yeah, so I think there's bonjour also, or bonjour. Hello. And then au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
Au revoir.
You know what? I didn't take a language class probably for a reason. This has been a fantastic. You got anything else you wanted to throw in there?
Yeah, I'll throw in one thing. I'll have to send you this email that I got from a listener. Apparently people, because we must have got it from when we did the podcast with the lady, she said to us that we sound like we are from straight up fucking Canada and we sound like the talking heads on South Park. And I was like, I like it. I think it's pretty funny.
Hey, why don't you come over here and say that to our face?
Yes, you ain't me.
Hey, all right, buddy.
Do some. Oh,
fucking Shorzy, man.
Freaking Maple Leafs. Oh, man.
Yeah, well, you get stuck. My nickname in the Army for the absolute lifetime was the Canuck.
The Canuck.
My original Xbox gamer tag for anybody that I destroyed as it was the Canuck.
I like that you held on to it all that time and just said, I'm going to roll with it.
I did too, man. Fuck it.
Great.
So we love everybody. Listen, remember, I say it so much, but you never meet everyone you save. So go out there and fucking smile.
All right. Everybody, please pray for the lost submarine